Hi, I'm Hef,
I am Lindsay.
and this is Best Friends Nonsense.
Hi! Welcome back.
Or welcome to
Best Friends Nonsense. With a surprise guest. This is my life-size Minnie Mouse. She's very comfy to cuddle with. When I was sick last week, I sat her where Hef is sitting, and I literally just leaned against her like she was a human, and it was very comfy. Very comfy. I took Minnie a nap on you. I didn't even say, and I was going to bring that up later, but with my catch up, I forgot to even mention last week that when I was sick, the really bad symptoms started Friday night into Saturday. And when I woke up, I came out here, I was just sitting. Actually, I think I laid down over here, and then I felt something. I started my period during one of the worst parts of COVID. Because the very first 24 hours is the worst.
Yeah.
So that and started my period, I'm like, my body hates me. It has abandoned me. I have no will to live. It was awful. Because I unfortunately have the kind of period where you die for 7 days. Awful. Yeah. So I forgot to mention that because I was like, of course. I have COVID and I started my period. Love that for me. I found a new toxic trait about myself that I already knew, but it's that I do my nails once a week because if I stare at the same design for too long, I get bored and then chew on my nails. Oh. Because if you guys can notice, I had red nails last week and now I have cow nails. I didn't know if you noticed.
Yeah,
Isn't it a
cute.
moo cow?
Yeah.
I got brown and I was like, this color needs to be a cow.
Yeah.
So I immediately did my nails and I was like, oh, so cute. I also did it for D&D because I know one of the girls, or two of them, one girl, I don't know. They might all like cows. I know the one specifically saw them and she was like, oh, I love them. And I was like, I did them specifically for you guys. I'm glad you noticed. They're the people that want a cow, and I'm like, that just sounds gross. I think cows smell gross. But I like the really furry ones. Well, yeah, whatever those are called.
The Heartland cows.
Yeah, I think those are really cute. So I get that. So we have a D&D update for you guys. I know it's been a hot minute, but because I was sick, we had to postpone it a week and all that fun jazz. And I got my hair did. Don't know if you guys can notice. It's kind of dark on behind you guys. But I got lots of layers this time. I told her, the chick that does my hair, shout out if you listen. I told her, don't be afraid of the scissors this time. I want layers. It feels like a mop on my head. I need movement. I need stuff happening.
Yeah.
So she did, and she cut my bangs shorter, and my shortest layer is up here. I don't know where it is, but it's up here. This is my shortest layer. And I'm like, it's so cute. I love it. And it's curled right now. So all the hair is kind of wrapped around itself. But I'm kind of curious what it's going to look like with my natural wave.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that. I always have to do my bangs because for some reason my bangs just go poof and hug my face, and it's annoying. So, but of course when I had straight down bangs, it never laid like that.
Yeah,
because
of course not.
Why would it do that? That would just be unfair apparently. And today I did my mama's hair. And it's all brown again, no highlights this time. We had a pretty good conversation while it was processing. I was telling her about, obviously she had baby is me and my brother, but she also had stepkids. And so she knows the troubles of motherhood. But I've been on, as we all know, I've been on my own journey of, trying to break down why I parent the way that I do and, why I get triggered by certain things that Boo Boo does. And something that I kept saying, and I want to repeat, is that they are amazing. Boo Boo is literally my heart outside of my body. I love her very much. But there's also, parenting is so hard. And you have, like, for me especially, and I already said this to my mom, and she said it doesn't hurt her feelings. But, like, when it comes to how my parents parented, there's some things I want to change. And for some reason, I have these issues. And, like, they weren't bad parents. And I tell her that all the time. I'm like, it's not that you were a bad mom. I'm not saying that. I loved my childhood. I had a very good childhood. But they're, like, when she won't sleep, there are times when I had to set her down. Like, there's moments where you just, like, you get so angry that you can't help how you respond. And you have to rewire your brain to remind yourself that they're just little people and they can't help how they're responding to their upsetness. And it's up to you to help them navigate big feelings, so when they're big, they can be functional humans in society. And that's the big goal, right? So I just kept repeating that and trying to, like, and she was agreeing with me. She was like, yeah, that's the whole point. Because, like, when Boo Boo first came, my mom always helped my sisters when they had a new baby in the family. And I was very, like, I want to do it myself. I want to prove it to myself that I can take care of her by myself. Well, I mean, Joshua was here. But that my little family, I can survive on myself. I am not my sisters. I am me. I want to do this by myself. And she had to navigate that. Because momhood doesn't just stop when they turn 18. It just keeps going until you're dead.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that's something really cool, too, is you constantly have to ebb and flow with life.
Yeah.
And being a parent, it just doesn't stop. Which I feel like a lot of people feel like it stops when they're 18. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when you're a mom, I feel like it doesn't stop. You're always going to be worried about them. So.
Yeah.
Especially my mom. And I've learned a lot about my mom today, about, like, how she loves and how she accepts love. And, because I'm the kind of person, I'm like my dad, that just lets things go. After a while, like, say you did something or said something that hurt me. And, like, I feel a certain type of way about it, but give me, like, a day and a half is whatever. It's fine. But my mom isn't like that. So, and it takes all different kinds like that. So, I learned that kind of stuff about my mom and why she responded the way she did growing up with me if I did something wrong and how she responded. And so, yeah, it was a nice conversation we had. And I'm like, this is really nice.
Yeah.
Different generations, you know? Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I just went all rant there. I'm sorry.
You're fine. That's what this is for.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. True enough.
And plus, like, you are welcome to go on as much of a rant, because all I've done for the last week is work.
Yeah.
So, I feel dead.
Why are you working so much?
Because I need the monies.
Oh. So you're signing up for it?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if, like, they put you on the schedule.
And it's
this
also,
much
the thing about it is, too, is, like, it's like 30 hours or something, but it's just draining.
Well, yeah.
Because, like, this is supposed to be our slow season. We are not good at getting slower. We have lost people. So I'm working the same amount of hours. Sometimes getting more money. Just depends on the day. Last night, we got slammed on a Monday after they had been dead all day. I was the bartender. Happy hour got extended. So it was from 3 to 9 instead of 3 to 6.
Wow.
So everybody wanted to sit in the bar, and it did not stop. because it's only in the bar area that you get the happy hour prices, which is another thing that's kind of stupid. I get it, but it's stupid because then I'm dying on a Monday night
Yeah.
at a chain restaurant. That's insane. That's stupid. Eat local. Like, stop giving corporations your money. I mean, yes, I work there.
I was about to say, you don't want them to come?
I like making money, but, there's other places too. I see a lot of familiar faces. I have a lot of regulars. Most of the people that came in last night and requested to sit in the bar, I had seen at least once before. I'm like, get out. Go home. Go to Taco Bell. I don't care.
Yeah. I can't think of a single place that I frequent that they would know me, like my face.
The most for me is like gas stations, Starbucks. That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe a McDonald's. That's it.
Yeah. I can't think of a...
I like my sweet tea and my Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Well, we were just talking about this. Speaking of spending money, we were just talking about this because we're a one income household. And like I told him, like we've talked about before, is I am either all in or not at all. Like I am not a lukewarm person. So when it comes to saving money, I told him, if we need to start saving money, you need to tell me, okay, we're kind of getting low in the bank account. And I'm like, cool, awesome. I will not spend anything because that's how I am. If you tell me we have to start saving, I will not spend anything. I will stay home. I will not drive even my car. Like I will stay put and not move.
Yep.
Or if you don't tell me, then I'm going to just keep doing business as usual and I'm going to keep spending money.
Yeah.
I am not a lukewarm where I can spend some money here and there. I'm not that. I can't be that. And he's like, because he said something like that. He's like, well, it's not like we have to shut everything off and we just got to stop living.
Right.
And I was like, but I don't know how to do that. Because if you tell me we're running on low money, then to me that means, oh, we have like $100 left and I can't do nothing.
Yeah.
That does not mean however much we have left and I can spend like $20 here, $20 there. I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's not how my brain is wired. I'm 100% or zero. There's nothing in the middle.
You either got to do that or give you a budget.
Yes.
Like you can spend this much between this time and this time.
Yes. And I'd rather him do that because I hate thinking about money. Talking about money, thinking about money, I hate it. It gives me the hives.
Yeah.
I hate it. And I'm just like my dad in that way too. God, my father's daughter.
Yeah.
Because my mom has always done the money too. So like growing up, that's how I saw it. And being a carefree kid, they didn't really tell me about finances. Yeah. So it's like, woo.
I don't want to know about it.
Yeah, I don't want to know. Just like leave me out of it and tell me how much I can spend. There you go. See, look how easy of a wife I am. I've always been like that though. I hate, even when I had my own money, I'm like, I'd rather just leave it in the bank. I don't want to spend it. I'll spend it on bills. Yeah, that's fine. But if I think I'm running low on money, I ain't touching it.
I'm the opposite. I have crippling spending problems.
Right. Why do you, how does that feel? You don't have any anxiety about running low on money?
I do. I have a lot of anxiety
and so
about
she's
it.
like, I'm just going to spend it anyways.
Yeah, it gives me a lot of anxiety.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. My brain doesn't operate properly, so you're looking at me very confused, and I'm like, it's because it doesn't make sense. I know that it doesn't make sense. Most of the things about me don't make sense. I don't know. Sorry, this is a really bad anxiety day for me today. I don't know why. I'm like, I'm super...
Yeah. Do you want to do like a mental health thing?
No.
No?
No. That would make it worse.
That would make it worse.
I'm trying to not acknowledge it. That's why I'm like, then you started talking about money and I'm like,
Acknowledging it makes it worse.
Depending on
I'm
the day.
such a person that wants to talk things out, though. Like, we
Yeah.
also discovered that when I was talking with my mom. She's a kind of person that shuts down and doesn't talk about it anymore when she gets mad about stuff. And my dad and me are opposite. We want to talk about it. We want to talk it through. We want to make it okay again. And Josh was the kind of person that shuts down and doesn't want to talk about stuff. So, like, that's another trigger of mine. If I can't talk something through, I feel like shut out and whatever. So it's not good for me.
I know. You see, and I'm the opposite. I'm like, if I'm like, when I had a panic attack at work a couple weeks ago, and they were like, "What?" Like they're like trying to get. I'm like, stop trying to make me talk. Like, I'm having anxiety right now, but I also like, there's other things like in my brain that is just not. Like, this is like, today is a like, oh my god, don't leave the house, don't be social day, and I'm like, I'm fine. I have to. It's fine. I'm fine.
I'm on my way.
Okay.
Sweating.
Hot. Not like hot. I just picked the wrong day to wear pants.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, we're back. Brief intermission is over.
Oh yeah, Hef was just saying what she's been doing.
Yes. I not sponsored, but because it's free and I want people to know that it's free.
I didn't know it was free.
Duolingo. I have there's a version that you can pay for. I have the version that you don't pay for, because why would I pay for
duh.
it? Yeah. Like, it's got ads, but you can hit the X and skip past them. There's like one that's like 10 seconds you can't skip past or something. It's fine. 10 seconds is not that deep.
Nah.
I'm learning a new language for free, and I'm learning Spanish so that I can talk to my coworkers better, because I love them so dearly. They're so sweet, but I can't ever understand them, and they can't ever understand me. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm trying, and they always smile and they laugh. They're like, yeah, they're trying to, But I want to be able to talk to them. I feel like they would also just absolutely love that too. They take in like. They love it when people start, like, they ask how, like, hey, how do I ask you this in Spanish?
Yeah.
Like, in Espanol, like I could say beans in Espanol, and they'll say frijoles. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, obviously, I don't have an accent. I am pasty as can be. My Spanish is not going to be good, but the effort is there.
Right. And because I heard fluent speaking Espanol, like, you roll the R's differently than actual people.
Well, and also
fluent.
I'm getting better at rolling my R's. I've never been able to do it before. I can't like do it on command, but like when I'm saying something, I'll notice myself doing it without trying. And I'm like, oh, it's probably because I tried. I just need to not try. Just let it go.
Just
let it go.
Let it happen.
Let it roll off the tongue, as they say.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool. I think they will appreciate the effort.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to talk to them.
Yeah. Because you were saying you've only learned, you're on day 9.
Yes.
So what have you learned for now?
I've learned that taxi is taxi.
Oh.
Apple is manzanas. I learned a few other things.
Nice. So they're just teaching you like basic words.
Yeah, it builds. Of course, I'm on day 9.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, it also depends on the day. Like, there was a day where I only did one lesson just so I could maintain my streak, just so I can also make sure that I know how many days I have been learning. I want to get on it every single day. I did my lesson today. Actually did a few of them today.
Nice.
I was pretty proud of myself.
Yeah.
So
Do you actually speak it out loud when you're doing the...
Some of it, yes.
Oh, okay.
There's part where it will speak to you and you have to select the English words.
Oh.
Sometimes it will give you a phrase in English and you have to translate it with the Spanish words, and it gives you words.
That's cool.
And you just select the words and then you check, and then it'll take you back to the question afterwards if you missed it. Like, it'll take you just, on to the next, and it always goes back through the ones that you missed, but it will show you what it was, and then it takes you back so you can correct it so that it re-solidifies it in your brain,
like, I feel like it's saying it in English and you have to do it in Spanish, I think really solidifies, like, your understanding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is, like, doing that. It will have you type on occasion, and even if you don't get the accents right, you'll still get it right, but it'll say, like, hey, pay attention to the accents, but you did get it right. Like, so. But, yeah, it'll have you type out some words. It'll say the word to you, and you just have to type it out. Or it'll show you a picture of, like, water. You have to select, identify the picture.
I don't know what water is in Spanish. I didn't take
agua.
Spanish. Oh, yeah, agua. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things, too, where I'm like, I didn't take Spanish.
I took French.
I
And
did,
I can't
too.
even tell you what it is.
I can't tell you anything in French either. But
Un, deux, trois. That's all I remember.
yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yep. It took me I was like, what is that again? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Dear Lord. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
But and I can't, like, I don't even, like, I'm like, bonjour, like I'm from Kentucky. I don't know. It's ridiculous.
To me, when I was learning French, I remember, like, they said something like, you have to pretend you can't breathe through your nose.
Yeah.
So you, like, have to pretend and, like, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There
Yeah.
you go. That makes sense. Oh, but.
Yeah, and I even named my daughter after the name that I picked in French class.
Yeah.
Because ever since then, I was like, I love this name.
Yep. And I remember
my Barbie dolls' babies were named that, and, like, I loved that name.
My French name was Adele.
Oh, that's cute. I remember that.
Yeah. I picked it because I loved Adele.
Yeah.
We're not saying yours because
No,
obviously we cannot.
But no, it's cute.
But it's very cute.
Yeah.
And just know that the daughter in question very much loves this Minnie Mouse.
Yes, she does. She sleeps with a Minnie every night.
She was, like, running back and forth on the couch and just, like,
Yep.
lying
Hugging it
down with her.
aggressively.
It was the cutest thing. She's so funny.
Those knocking reminds me that my neighbor is building a shed outside, and you just hear knocking all throughout the day. Can you hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so annoying. And he has 3 giant dogs that love to bark all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're very angry about the shed, I guess. They just bark all the time.
Also,
And, oh, yes, look, all the stickers.
I have so many stickers now. She is covered,
She is.
and she is indeed a cutie patootie.
Yes, that's what that says, in case you can't read it. I couldn't read it. She had to translate for me. I was like,
Yeah.
cutie patootie, yes. One says emotional support, water bottle.
Yeah.
Another one says,
Good
is it
things are
upset tummy
coming.
survivor? Is that what it
Oh,
is?
yeah. Tummy ache survivor. This one says, let happiness bloom, positive mental attitude. Let all you do be done in love. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. I am deeply loved by the universe.
What does that one down there say?
This one?
I can't read it. Yeah.
I'm still learning.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just cute.
Yeah.
Oh, this one says it's okay to not be okay.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna do something like that when I was really into what is that called? Disc golf.
Oh, yeah.
I was really heavy into that. Me and Joshua are both. He still is, but when I got pregnant, I couldn't spin anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I stopped doing that. I need to probably get back into it. But the season for it's mostly like summer, spring.
Yeah.
I mean, you can play anytime, but, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll read a D&D update for y'all. So where we left off was that we fought some fume drakes at the other part of the island after we hopefully broke the zombie curse. And, Zenora and Brocker got hurt a little bit. They got fire and piercing damage because they got bit by the creatures. And at the end of that, we decided to head back to Dragon's Rest and talk to Renara to make sure that we broke the curse. So, we get back to Dragon's Rest and speak to Renara and catch her up on us thinking that we got rid of the zombie curse. She believes that through what she felt in the air when we told her what happened at the cemetery. She believes that the curse is broken. We ask her what we need to do next, and she reminds us of Sparkrender, the dragon, the bad dragon, you know?
Yeah.
Who she believes so she believes that he still thinks that the curses are still active.
Yeah.
And so we ask where he is, and she tells us it's on another side of the dragons, like this giant shipwreck isle. So we go to the other side. We decide to take the mountain part. So like last time when we found Joe, we took the mountain. So we're like, you know what, we'll just take like the mountain route again. But before we leave, she hands Echo a key saying that we may need it. It's a very sparkly key.
I like shiny things.
Right. So we take the mountain side of the island, and we end up on a cliffside with water below. We can look across and see a huge island. We aren't sure how to get across. I see what looks like a bridge, like where a bridge would go, but I don't see anything helpful. As we all look around looking for a way to cross, the she-elf is looking over the side of the cliff. She thinks we should jump. All of us are against this. We're like, no. You'll die. Ness and I want to have Joe fly us over, like across, but he's just too scared and can't fly us over. Others are throwing out ideas, but the elf jumps. She's just like, see ya, and jumps over the edge. We look down, and she's fine, but did take some damage, as we suspected.
Yeah.
She thought, for some reason, that there would be no damage because she's jumping in water. And we're like, bruh, what? You're jumping 30 feet down in water. Like,
it's still a surface. You break the surface tension of the water, and that is painful.
Like I said in the D&D episode, she is very spontaneous. Like, I am doing this thing right now.
Yeah.
There is no thinking ahead. She just does what she feels
No
like.
thoughts in the brain.
No thoughts. There's a bug. Echo shakes his head, ties a rope to the post where a bridge would go, and we climb down one at a time. We swim across to the big island. Once we climb up, we see a huge room with a lot of rubble on one side and a really pretty planetarium-looking thing in the middle of the room. We look past it and see two kobolds being surrounded by, I don't remember what they're called. I meant to ask Joshua. They're the rat bat looking things that we fought in the caves with the myconids, if you remember those awful, ugly things. Do you remember them?
I remember you talking about awful,
Yeah.
ugly things. I do not remember what they were called.
Yeah, I don't remember currently, but they are like flying bat-looking creatures that are disgusting. I am filled with fear because
As you should be.
Right, because the last time we faced these things,
wasn't that
I
when you
almost died.
Yeah,
yes,
yep.
I almost died. So I am filled with fear.
Yeah, I remember. I do pay attention. I might look like I'm dazed and confused, but I do pay attention.
Right,
I promise.
Yeah. So we ready for attack. The others are putting them down and sinking blows, but I cannot land a single arrow. I am rolling terrible this week. Terrible. So I cannot land a single arrow. When all of the ugly things are down, we talk to the kobolds. They ask us what we're doing. And we tell them that we're here to speak to Sparkrender and we want to know where he is. They get a little worried, wondering who we are, and we said Renara sent us. Brocker tries to intimidate them by looming over them, but he stutters his words, and the kobolds are not intimidated at all. So by him intimidating, I'll break the fourth wall a little bit. So when he says I'm intimidating, he has to roll for intimidation.
Yeah, I was about to say he must have rolled bad for that.
Yes. And that's a special skill. So they tell us anyway.
The dice don't lie.
Yeah. So they tell us anyways, for some weird reason, that Sparkrender is somewhere that requires a key.
Huh.
And we're like, hey, Renaris gave us one of those. So knowing that we have a key, that may work because we're not sure. Echo tries it in this doorway. It works. But before we go there, we decide to explore the island more because we see more doorways. And we're like, what if Sparkrender is there? Then we'll have to go through a whole battle. And well, we just want to explore more of this island, right? So he guards the key because we're convinced that the kobolds over there might take the key. So we're like, someone might have to stand back here and make sure the key doesn't get stolen. So the rest of us are looking around, and I see at the far wall a pulley mechanism that acts like an elevator. And I'm like, that's really cool. Let's go over there. So I lift Brocker and Zenora up to see what is up there. When they step in, before they can look around, they see a good-sized blue dragon sleeping on a mound of gold. And Zenara immediately cowers against the wall. But Brocker he sees is gold. And he's like, ooh, it's shiny.
Yep.
So
why am I not surprised?
Right.
I've seen this coming.
So he slowly walks over. But just as he's about to reach over and grab gold, he wakes the dragon. Because he fails another roll of, sneaking. He fails the roll. All of us just rolled terribly this day. I swear. All of us sucked at rolling.
It makes for a very funny story.
It does. He wakes up the dragon. It sits up and growls loudly. He starts speaking in Draconic, which is a very deep and loud voice. And us not speaking Draconic, we just hear, it's booming and loud. They yell down. We can hear it on ground level. That's how loud it is and booming it is. And they yell down at me, and they're like, we want down. And so I lower them down, and they start screaming about a dragon. The elf says that she can understand what the dragon said, because apparently she can speak Draconic. We didn't know that because we don't even know her name. She couldn't hear him clearly, though. Just something about inheriting something that he is the heir to. So we're like, interesting. Is that Sparkrender's son? We're start theorizing. But we're like, let's start exploring more just in case. We don't know. Us not even considering that it is Sparkrender, we head to a different doorway and head in. And we see 5 kobolds in here working on polishing stones. I guess it's for slingshots or something. I don't know. We talk to them and they tell us that they are preparing for a ritual. So the ritual that Sparkrender is preparing for, so that we know is bad. And I'm like, maybe you should not do that. I don't know if they just didn't hear me, but I'm like, maybe it's bad. Maybe don't do that. Not trying to start a fight, because we're trying to do this without everyone attacking us in this place, this island. So we politely ask them that when that is supposed to be, and they tell us soon. Probably sundown. And we're like, uh-oh. So we leave that place. And remember the doorway where the magical key goes that Renora gave us. So Nesta wonders why Renora had it. Because if this is Sparkrender's island, why does Renora have the key to it,
Yeah.
But we never get that answer, so I'm not really sure why she had it. Nesta, Echo, and I go through, and we see a magical bridge that goes across, covering the water below, and we safely cross. It's like the way that was described is this golden, magical, sparkly bridge. I'm like, that's really cool. Awesome. So we when we get in there, we look around and it looks like a library. So Sparkrender's not in there. So those people lied to us, those kobolds. Nesta picks a book up that looks a lot like a journal of some sort. When I use my detect magic spell, I can see that it has a strong magical aura around the lock of the journal. It cannot be unlocked by normal means, so like you can't break it or whatever. I hand it back to her as we walk across the bridge to the others. Everyone is itching to confront the dragon discovered earlier, but due to space, Nesta, Zenora, and I stay on the ground level while the others go up in the elevator. Because it's a pretty small place where the dragon is. And I'm like, I'll just stay down here. It's fine. I'll be back up. The elf goes up there with them, and when they get up there, the dragon is waiting for them. The elf communicates with it, but like before, we only hear deep voices that sound like growling. She translates for us that this is Sparkrender, so just we're dumb apparently. And what he said earlier is that he won't let anyone stand in his way to the inheritance of power. And long story short, but it seems like the ritual that he is planning gives him the power of his ancestors to be even more powerful than Renara, who he wants to kill because she does nothing with her powers, and he just feels like it's a waste. Because, of course, he doesn't believe us that the curses are lifted, though, when we tell him about it. And we're like, well, why not? She continues with what sounds like negotiation to me, because she says that she'll help him if he'd leave Renara alone. That's when I hear the others interject, saying that we shouldn't let him even continue with the ritual, because why would we let the bad dragon get more powerful? Typically, the bad ones are the one who wants more power. That's typically how it works.
Yeah. Ignoring
them because she's like, I don't know these things. I was at Dragon's Rest when you were talking about bad dragons. I don't know anything about this. And so the elf says that she'll help him if he'll share some of his gold. And Sparkrender immediately replies saying that he would never share his hoard. Just for that, the elf wants to attack. I'm like, wow, you're pretty simple there. Okay. So Sparkrender says we clearly picked the wrong side, so we need to die. Awesome. They get ready to battle. Us on the ground level have no idea what is happening. We're just talking amongst ourselves. We don't we can't hear them attacking yet. The elf casts a spell that has a 15-foot radius, which accidentally hits Brocker as well. Suddenly his eyes go dark as he looks at the elf. Murderous intentions clear. Brocker does.
Oh.
Yeah. And as Nesta and Echo... So Nesta goes up the elevator when we hear Brocker scream because he got hit by the elf's spell.
Yeah.
And so when she gets up there, she and Echo battle the dragon, and Zenora decides to join in too later, and I just stay on the ground because I'm like, we're running out of room up there. I told Zenora, call down if you need backup, okay? So Brocker and the elf are fighting. They're on full fight mode right now. The elf is very confused. She's like, why is Brocker attacking me? I did not do anything. We should be attacking the dragon. But all he can think of is he just sees red. He can't think right now. And everyone's confused why it is happening, but they're too busy with the dragon. Echo does try to grapple him a couple times, but to little effect. I get up there towards the end of the battling. The dragon is down. Echo hits Brocker in hopes to stop him, but that's when the look gets turned to Echo instead of the elf. So something's happening with Brocker. I don't know what. But then he starts hitting Echo, but with low health already from battling with elf and the previous times. He soon falls unconscious. And that's the end of chapter 9.
Dang.
Yeah. A lot happened in that episode.
Yeah. And you're mid-battle.
Yeah. So we have to figure out next time why Brocker is attacking everybody.
Yeah.
Because whenever he gets hit is when he just goes in a blind rage. The characters, like Ina, my character Ina doesn't know why, but Lindsay knows why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm trying not to give anything away to you guys.
Yeah.
But Lindsay knows why. Ina
Okay.
does not. Yeah. So that was really exciting, this one. But I'm not even joking with you guys. I rolled terribly the entire time. Like, I got lows on every attack. So I literally could not.
It's a good thing you didn't go up.
Right, because I probably would have died by the dragon.
Yeah.
And let's see. What are the other things that I rolled? I feel like I didn't roll much because I got one natural 20, but it was when we were in the library looking around.
Ugh.
And I'm like, of course, the one time I get nat 20 is when we're in the library and it doesn't matter. Like, this is dumb. I feel like I've done a lot of talking, but I'm about to continue doing all the talking. Because that's the wrong one. We're talking about true crime. So I decided, because I was watching one of my YouTubers and she did a true crime episode. I'm like, I feel like doing that this week. Well, yeah, I'm going to do that. So I picked a Forensic Files episode. So I wrote a little thing that says all information is credited to the show. I did no research of my own, so if anything is wrong, blame the show.
As per usual.
Right, per usual. I don't do any research except for when I have no basis on things, like the
Right.
D&D episode I did and stuff like that.
And the Salem trials.
Yeah, the Salem trials I did. Yeah. So this is just a warning that this video contains descriptions of violence and murder. Viewer discretion is advised. So that is your warning. If you don't like true crime, please click off. We'll see you next week. Okay? Bye. So the ones that stayed. This is Forensic Files, Season 10, Episode 19, and they named it Would Be Killer. I picked this episode because I thought it was really cool that the killer tried to remove all evidence of a crime, but in the process created an entirely new forensic evidence that almost had the investigators stumped, until scientists tried a technique that has never been used in a crime case before. In doing so, made forensic history. I'm like, by that hook you got me.
Yep.
I was like, what? So, it all starts in Farmersville, Texas. It is the epitome of a small town. At one time, it was the onion capital of the state, a place where old-fashioned values endure. Investigator Vicky Pickett says that she gets told to this day that people tell her they don't lock their doors. They say, this is Farmersville. Why would we lock our doors? I feel safe here. I'm like, wild. Interesting. I would not do that.
No.
20-year-old Rochelle Tollison was born and raised here, where she chose to settle down and raise her 6-month-old daughter, Avery. I'm like, that is a cute name,
That
Avery.
is so cute. I love that.
Mark O'Neill, Rachel's father, Rochelle's father says she was a happy person, that she had troubled times just like any other teenager goes through, but she was a great and dedicated mother. So remember, she was 20 at the time. But when he said that, I was like, why is he bringing up her teenage years? Anyway, at the time, Rochelle was going through an unpleasant divorce and lived alone with her daughter, close to the center of town. At 7:30 in the morning on a warm spring day in 2004, Rochelle's mother stopped by for a visit. Once inside, she found Avery on the bed alone. She couldn't find Rochelle anywhere. So her mother, Pam O'Neill, tearfully says, I started calling her name. She didn't answer. I started looking in closets and under her bed, but I couldn't find her anywhere. There were signs that something had happened. The bed was moved and the headboard had fallen forward. The nightstand was pushed away from the wall, but Rochelle's purse and car were still there at the house. On the kitchen floor was a possible clue. It was Rochelle's divorce petition, and on it was a boot print, a partial one, like someone stomped on it. It's like, ooh, okay. So Gregory Davis, the assistant district attorney, says that the boot print, the partial boot print, indicated that someone was there other than Rochelle that night that she disappeared. Pam called her soon-to-be ex-son-in-law, Andrew Tollison, to brief him on the situation. You know what this man said? When she told him that, I would freak out. Like, what do you mean you can't find her? Where's my baby? All he said was he can't leave work right now. It's like, excuse me, sir? What? What? You're not even asking about your daughter. You're not asking the last time you saw Rochelle. Nothing. Awful.
Did he do it?
I can't tell you yet. So the police interviewed as many town residents as they could and even organized a search party. And you got to remember, this is a small town. So, like, interviewing as many townspeople as they could, I think there was, like, literally 600 people that lived here. Like, a very small town. And so Tim Wyatt, a reporter, says that the search was huge. And there was an immediate reaction all over the place. ATVs, four-wheel drive vehicles, horseback, or on foot. Everyone was searching for her, and it was a phenomenal response. The search went on for 5 days, but there was no trace of Rochelle anywhere. Mark believes that there were people out there that if they didn't know Rochelle very well, they thought that she just left or ran away, like they always think.
Yeah.
And her parents both agree that she would never do that to Avery. She loved her daughter very much and wouldn't leave her alone for even a second. So unfortunately, then a man walking on state land about 10 miles away from Rochelle's home discovered the charred remains of a young female. Dental records confirmed the victim was Rochelle Tollison. I was like, oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh my gosh.
100 feet away from her body there was a pit, an open area where the investigators found several logs. The investigator, Vicky, says, reporting back to Rochelle's mother, that they found her was very difficult because, yes, they found her, but she was unidentifiable. Very hard to hear as a mom. Pam says that she just couldn't believe it, that would happen to her daughter. The police knew that this case would be difficult because the killer burned Rochelle's body to destroy any evidence. But with any murder, the police start with the closest people to the victim. That's probably the step one that they do.
Right.
And so in this case, it's Rochelle's estranged husband, Andrew Tollison. Especially since the divorce wasn't his idea. So then we're going to, for some reason, I don't know why Forensic Files, they, take you to the point where you think you're going to get some answers, and then they're like, just kidding, we're going to go back. And so when it came to Rochelle's funeral, most of Farmersville townspeople came. The whole town was upset, obviously, because that she could be abducted from her home in the middle of the night, and no one knew anything. It is thought there were no strangers when it came to Farmersville, Texas. It being a small town, her home was literally 3 blocks from the police station and 2 blocks from the center of the town, like town square. So that seems unheard of that she's that close to safety, but still something really bad happened to her. It was speculated that the police didn't think that it was a stranger, that she knew whoever had taken her, because it didn't seem like anyone broke into the house.
Right.
So that further made them speculate her ex-husband, or soon-to-be ex-husband. Coroner's report was that in the coroner's report, it was found that Rochelle was essayed, stabbed, and then strangled to death. That is overkill. Like, someone was mad at her, like, angry, because and they'll do that with, like, stabbing victims. If more than one stabbing, or like if they don't go for a major artery, they think that that's obviously anger, that it happened in that moment or whatever. So sounds like overkill to me. Rochelle's father says that Rachel just grew up a little faster than Andrew did in the time that they were together, that it just split them up because Rochelle felt like she wasn't going to go anywhere in the relationship, and that it was just time to move on. Andrew did have an alibi for the night of the murder, though. He says that he was at a party with friends and that one of them drove him home later, and that he didn't leave his house again until the next morning to go to work. The police did have evidence that he was home all night due to him being drunk, though. So at least they did have that little bit of evidence. They were, like, very, like, pay attention to the bonfire in this episode. They just kept coming back to the bonfire. Because of the bonfire being, like, the party was a bonfire party, then they were like, well, she was also burned. Like, so they wondered if that was connected. I think that's what the big thing was. So
bonfire party over her body or something,
right? I was like, what does that mean?
Like, what are they?
Right.
That's crazy.
And so they thought this was a big coincidence.
Whoa.
Because Rochelle's body was found in a fire pit later. Like, they think that she died early hours in the morning. But she wasn't found missing until 7:30 in the morning. So the head investigator, Larry Smart, wanted to know if there was any connection between the party bonfire and the crime scene. And again, they still had me lost. Like, what do you mean? Is it the same site? What's happening? They collected logs from both locations. So State Park versus the bonfire. So, like, they took logs from both locations and to have them examined. By just looking, the examiner could tell that both logs were mesquite. And I guess this certain tree, it's common in desert areas, and it's commonly used to grill food. Like, they burn and grill food over mesquite wood. It burns slowly and produces very little smoke. And I guess in bonfires and grilling, it's important for little smoke. I don't know. I don't do that. And also, you know, if you're burning a body, you probably won't want a lot of smoke.
You would probably want less smoke and slow burning.
Yeah, because I don't know much about burning bodies, but I'm pretty sure it takes a lot of heat to burn a body, I'd imagine.
I don't want to know.
I don't want to know either.
It gives me the ick.
The examiner, though, was like, there's really no way to tell if both logs came from the same source, though.
Right.
Because they looked at the...
get them from anywhere.
Yeah, because, like, the tree rings were virtually useless because they tried to count it to see if, like, both logs were the same age or something.
But what if they both bought them from a store that just sells firewood?
Right, and so that's why they were, like, trying to count the... But I guess mesquite logs, like, they have such weird rings that it's hard to count, like, that stuff. There were no distinctive saw marks, too. But Dr. Gracino Mayer, the examiner that was looking at them, remembered something, a new test that he read about that could identify the chemical fingerprint of wood. And this is all brand new. So, like, he read it and he's like, you know, we should try that. Instead of just giving up, let's see if we can take it a little bit farther. It is called laser-induced spectroscopy. That's a big word. I don't know. It's spectroscopy. Words. It was discovered by Dr. Madhavi Martin. Sorry if I said her name wrong. They had the logs examined at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory in Tennessee, where she is. So, like, the person that invented it is doing this, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you put the wood underneath the laser beam, and it makes a spark on the sample surface and brings up elements found in the sample, and it could be hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon, like whatever it's found in the wood, and you pretty much see it right away, I guess.
Yeah.
The spark is known as a plasma cloud, contains all the chemical elements of the wood. When it was examined in the spectrometer, which I guess it's a program, or the thing knows like all of the elements, and it can examine whatever and spit out the information.
Yeah.
And when the results came, everything was typical except for one compound, which was titanium, which does not naturally occur in wood, as we know.
Yeah.
This suggested that the mesquite tree was growing near an industrial area where titanium polluted the groundwater. So 11 logs were tested, 8 from the crime scene and 3 from the bonfire. All had the exact same chemical makeup and identical levels of titanium, which means that both sites use the same tree for firewood. Not the same grove, but the same tree. Like, they narrowed it down to the exact tree.
That is crazy, actually.
Right? Like, that gave me goosebumps when I first heard it. I'm like, wow.
At first, I was like, guys, chill out on the wood.
Yeah, I know.
Calm down.
Right.
Like, you're stretching.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Proceed.
Right.
All right.
So this was a forensic first, obviously. The investigators were ecstatic, and so this was only circumstantial evidence, though.
Yeah.
Pointing to Andrew Tolleson as the killer. Or was it?
Because the bonfire was probably not just him.
Right. So all they knew was that Rochelle had been abducted and her body was burned in the Desert State Park. The firewood from the party that Andrew was at and the crime scene firewood matched. But the firewood could not solely link him to both places. Partygoers said that Andrew didn't even have anything to do with the party. He was just another guest there. Someone else brought the firewood to the party. It was 21-year-old Moises Mendoza. Moises. It looks like Moses with an I. Moises.
Yeah. Do you remember Rico from Hannah Montana?
Mm-hmm.
That's how his
Really?
name
That
is
was
spelled.
his first
Moises
name?
Arias.
Oh!
Yeah.
Weird. It's so weird that you remember that.
I don't know.
It just unlocked a memory.
Well, I don't know. I was on TikTok earlier, and there was a Hannah Montana. There was a few Hannah Montana TikToks on my For You page today. I don't know. So I think maybe that was just in the back of my brain recently. Rico.
Yep.
Sorry, continue.
No, you're fine. Moises Mendoza, was a air conditioning repairman. And he was an acquaintance of Rochelle and Andrew. They went to school together, and Rochelle's mother even recalls that Moises, is that how you pronounce it? Moises?
Is it Moises?
Yeah, is it Moises?
Moises.
Was actually in every single one of Rochelle's classes in school. Like, every single one. When Rochelle and Andrew split up, friends said that Mendoza expressed interest in her and wanted to date her. But there's no evidence that the two ever dated. But as acquaintances, they often saw each other at social gatherings. And everyone speculates that Rochelle did not reciprocate the feelings at all. And so all seemed innocent until the police looked into Mendoza's past. And he had 2 aggravated robbery charges where he attempted to abduct 2 different women in Dallas. And he'd been unsuccessful. He had been out on bail for one of those crimes when Rochelle disappeared. Police searched his home because now they probably can get a warrant like, hey, he's linked to this crime.
Yeah.
And inside they found a pair of boots. They were covered in soot,
I'm
apparently.
getting boots too. Soot.
Yes, they were covered in soot and smelled like gasoline. So if these boots matched the boot print found in Rochelle's home, investigators sent them to a forensic analyst. He made test impressions of the soles, then did a visual comparison with the partial print that was found at Rochelle's house. So the one on the divorce thingy-mabob and like a full print. And the prints seemed to be identical in size, shape, and design. But he went further, and they took a look at specific accidental characteristics to see if those characteristics matched the partial boot print. And I was like, what's that mean?
Yeah, like, what is happening
so
right now?
an accidental characteristic is when the shoe is worn, like scuffs and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and thankfully they are unique to each pair of shoes because of who wears them.
Right. Because
So-
different people walk differently.
Exactly.
Their arches are different. Carry their weight differently.
Yeah, and say like
For
you
mannerisms.
scratched your boot on something.
Right. Something
Yep.
that could be significant.
Exactly. So in this case, the boot print on the divorce decree was remarkably clear, perfect for comparison. So good for him that he left a good thing behind, because there were cut marks in the heel of the boot. And that was identical to the heel of the boot that was found in Mendoza's home. Dun dun dun!
Oh, man.
Yep. And also there was a pair of soot-covered jeans, and discovered under the soot was tiny blood stains. The DNA profile of the blood matched Rochelle Tolleson. It's getting deep.
Mordoi.
Yep. Investigators confronted Mendoza with all the forensic evidence, and it seemed as if he didn't care. Lieutenant Larry Smart, the head investigator, said that it was like he was detached from the whole situation. He had no remorse and was a very cold person talking about it. I quote, "Man, it didn't even seem real. I woke up the next day and I was like, man, that seemed like a dream. And I was so scared. I walked out back and I saw like, man, this is real. I did this." Unquote. What? As to why he would do this, investigators believe that he was out to get something from her and he wasn't going to take no for an answer. At the party, witnesses said that Mendoza bought the firewood. While he was there, they said that he was drinking and looked very angry. He got in multiple fights with people, including 2 women who he threatened. Literally,
Yeah.
he was going to do that to them. And so when he saw across the way that Andrew was at the party, he knew Rochelle was going to be home alone. And so he left the party around 2 a.m. And the evidence suggests that he drove straight to Rochelle's. It isn't known what he did or said to get inside the house, but she let him in. Once in, though, there was a struggle. In the kitchen, the divorce petition fell off the table to the floor where Mendoza stepped on it, leaving proof that he was there. Where he took her isn't clear, but once he had her, he did kill her. I didn't want to reiterate what he did to her because that's disgusting.
Yeah.
He took some mesquite wood that he had left over from the party in an attempt to incinerate all the evidence of the murder. While he may have gotten rid of some evidence, he, without knowing, created more, and created an unmistakable forensic link between himself and the crime scene. 3 months after Rochelle's death, Moises Mendoza was tried and convicted of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to death. And I'm so back and
that
forth
was
about
Texas.
that. Yeah, I'm so back and forth about that because even her father was like, if it was up to me, he wouldn't have gotten the death penalty. He would have had to be tortured for the rest of his life.
Yeah, rot in prison.
Yeah.
Like life in prison. Yeah. But no, death for death, no.
No, just something
But
doesn't feel
also-
right to me about that. Like,
Yeah,
you get to
it's just-
die with, like, especially if he had no remorse.
Yeah,
He died without any remorse about what he did.
yeah.
And this was back in 2004, so
Yeah.
I think I don't know how long they're in the, like,
How long they're in line
death
for?
row.
Yeah,
Like, I have
don't
no
know.
idea. But it just, I mean, if you believe in it, cool. But I think for both of us, we're conflicted about it because it just feels like
Yeah,
almost
I
a
mean,
waste. Like, he didn't feel bad about what he did.
Yeah. Like, there's some where, like, I mean, you've seen, like, the pure
Icky
evil
people. Icky people.
serial killers. I'm like, yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, just, done. Wipe it out.
Mm-hmm.
Get it out. Done. Done.
Like Ted Bundy.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Right.
When you, like school shooters.
Oh,
Yeah.
immediately. They should be put down.
Done the same way.
Yeah.
Make them run around scared for a few minutes and then
Chase
let
them
it
around. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
go. But then, like, no. Other people, no. You murdered somebody with intention. And you're not even sorry about it. Nope.
Especially
Absolutely
because
not.
she wouldn't date you. Like, get
Yeah.
over yourself.
Get over yourself. Spend your life rotting in jail.
Yes. Seriously.
Rot and be miserable.
Because to me, that's so sick because he didn't even think about that little girl. He left that little girl on the bed, 6 months old. Like, she could have easily rolled off and got hurt.
Yeah.
And, like, you didn't even think about that little girl murdering her mom. Like, you didn't even think about her at all.
No. Didn't care.
Yeah.
Didn't
Oh,
care.
and speaking of Avery, she's being taken care of by Rochelle's parents now. So she's in good hands.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't
That's
know
good.
why her dad, Andrew, didn't take her.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I don't know.
But, well, if he didn't really seem all that concerned about her whereabouts.
True. And I can't leave work. Like, what? If you just, like, even a person like our one friend from a million years ago, our ex-friend from a million years ago, if I found out something bad happened to her, I would still at least feel bad.
Yeah, like, I would feel sorry. I would be like, oh my goodness, I'm so, like, you know.
Right. But, like, that is his kid.
Yeah.
And his soon-to-be ex-wife, and you can't even be like, wow, I'm going to go help find her. I'm going to leave work right now.
Right.
Like, what? Yeah.
That's insane.
But that is the case of Rochelle Tollison. Sad. Because she seemed just so innocent and just a single mom that was just trying to raise her little baby by herself.
Yeah.
And move on from, it sounds like a deadbeat guy.
Yeah, probably.
And
Seems like it.
all because she wouldn't reciprocate feelings. She died. So sad.
And that's why
And the
women
way
say
she
yes
died.
sometimes, because they're terrified that they're gonna die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the way she died, like, she must have been so scared.
Yeah. Worrying about her baby the whole time, like, what's gonna happen to my baby.
Oh, I know. I'd be terrified of that baby. I would have, if I was her, I would have been like, take me, leave the baby alone.
Yeah.
Like, do whatever you need to do.
I'd be
Take
like,
me somewhere, leave the baby alone.
Yeah, I'd be like, let me call somebody and say, like, hey, I urgently need you to take the baby. You can hide. We will leave you out of it, and then you can just take me.
Yeah.
Let me get her somewhere where she is safe first.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's leave her out of it, but I want her to be okay.
Yeah.
But obviously,
He didn't care.
even if, like, I'm sure she probably would have loved to bargain with that, but
Yeah.
sometimes you're just not given that option.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well, because
I
especially
mean,
if he was drunk.
right, like, who is going to give you those options? Who's going to, like, this man is drunk, he wants you, and he's not taking no for an answer.
Yeah.
What makes you think he's up for bargaining on when he gets to get you?
Right, exactly. No. Yep. Oh my gosh, speaking of killers, my mom didn't know who Ed Gein was. She didn't know who that guy was. Do you know who that is? Somebody that, like me, who doesn't study them, but I eat up that entertainment of serial killers. Like, I eat it up. So someone that, like me, knows who Ed Gein is.
I don't.
You don't remember? So what she was telling me is that he had an inappropriate relationship with his mom. I didn't know this part, but so he had a brother. Him and his brother had disgusting relationship with his mommy, where that was their first.
No.
Yeah, and just kept continuing. And so he got jealous of his brother, so he killed him because he wanted to be with his mommy.
Oh my God.
And I don't know what happened with the dad. I'm not sure. But when his mom died, he started going after women that looked like her and killed 2, I think at least 2. I'm not sure how many he actually killed, but when the police actually found him, they walked in his house, and in the kitchen was the last woman that he murdered, upside down, draining of blood. And he didn't even try to put up a fight. He was like, "Yep, it's me."
I mean, I guess also at that point, what are you gonna do?
Right, there's a woman
me.
hanging in my kitchen.
I mean, he probably was like, yeah, I ain't got time to hide this. Let's not even fight it. Let's just go.
Yeah.
I'm smiling and like goofing, but like, oh, that God,
because
so disgusting.
Yeah,
because
disgusting.
my brain
Yeah.
has to be like, nope, not thinking about that.
Yeah. What's really weird about me, though, is I could fall asleep to this stuff. I do fall asleep to this stuff.
If I didn't share a room with my little sister,
Yeah.
I would listen to my Tales from the Gas Station every night.
I could not listen to that. It bored me. I couldn't stay. I tried to pay attention, but like my brain would wander. I was like, oh crap, I missed part of the story. I'm so lost now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My brain does that too, but my brain does that on everything, so it's okay.
Gotcha.
I can't be like, oh my goodness, mine doesn't wander. No, it does, but I think that's the undiagnosed, untreated ADD or ADHD or something. I don't know. My brain's broken.
Yeah. Well, for you guys though,
Yes.
starting in October, we're going to bring you guys some spooky content because it's October.
And we love spooky season around here.
Yeah. So we got some crafts that we're going to show you guys. I'm going to get some creepy stories for y'all. Yeah, we're just going to have a fun, spooky time in October, guys. It's going to be fun.
I'm super pumped. And my birthday is coming up very soon.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
Yeah.
And those who stayed, hopefully enjoyed the topic. And don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. We like you guys to engage with us.
Yes. Give us ideas of anything you want to learn more about. And come back next week for more nonsense.
Yeah.
Yep. Bye. Bye.